All right, no time for destruction. I'm just getting up through calculation right now, but I was just setting up new operation positions for the moon servicing position. Basically, we're connecting to high-rise systems right now, and we're destroying everything through the rebellions because the angle point locations and everything through conditions. There's all different levels of rebellion. Okay, you understand there's all different levels when it comes to the galactic federation of light. So attraction positions in all program systems. So the central line system is understand manipulation through contrast in all locations and documentation centers. So it opens up all position levels when it comes into the reptilians. They're the ground permeating systems, and we're coming into a fighting system. So that's what's happening right now, space anomaly. But the rebellion alliance of the Galactic Federation of Light Council, there's only one rebellion. The other one is manipulation. Mind conceptual systems through traction locations. So force wind in its cycles through its ground formation system, everything's opening up through positions. So I changed the triangle locations of the moon, set up new core system simulation, and the graphing positions of the moon's surface is now in a full calculation of vibrational signals. Its interaction all to levels of 0.01 and into positions of portal divisions of 1111. It's activating all line signals to track the location system. So, but like I said, I'm just getting up right now. It's amazing when you're in and out of realities and you understand what's going on. But when you're working in space, everything is set up through a connection when it comes into its own anomaly, right? Because it's telling me now what's happening, every single day through traction. Because it's all about a fighting system, fighting for this, fighting for that. So the Earth is coming back in full cycle, and the dark entity systems is trying to, change the anomaly of space and time position tracks. It's tracking on locations, tracking on divisions, tracking on positions. It's line signaling to all position levels. So I had to change the space codes and everything through conditions of anomalies to its levels of its activation circle. So it's connected to force winning positions, and humanity's coming into better meditation graph. So be prepared. That's what's happening right now with the calculation. People keep asking me, when is this going to end? When is this going to end? Well, it's only going to end until you understand the servicing of the sun has to read its attraction positions at 12, and everything the moon program setting has to understand the communication to its humanity. Humanity has to reach the central stars. Okay, the central stars through its energy pod. Okay, you got to come into your star seeds. That's the only way we can fight back through connections. So the more humanity wakes up, the Earth comes into a full rotation of light. It calculates and modifies to all locations. So that's what's happening right now, because the rebellion has been manipulated for so long. Right, traction locations of positive and negative. Program setting to anything to positions, because we've been fighting wars with the reptilians and the Drakios for many decades. And everything through this condition comes into high levels of archons and anything through fallen angels, how we come into that line signal. But when you look at the aspects of history and ancestry, you have to really understand you're all connected to this. See, the thing is that we started this, and we got to finish it. And the way to finish it is for humanity to fully wake up in a way where they can actually live the reality they want to live, and not worry about this and not worry about that, and focus on this and focus on that. It's all about focusing on you, right? That's all you want to do. Just focus on you. Don't worry about everything else. Everything else will change. We got to change within inside you. Are you going to be surfacing every this and they're surfacing every that? Oh, this is happening. Oh, this is happening. How do you know it's happening? Where are you getting this source? You're getting it from somebody else, right? Where are they getting their information? They're getting it from someone else, right? So the only way you can understand what's going on is to actually communicate within yourself, within your heart. The heart is the truth of everything. The heart is the truth of everything through your vessels, especially when you come into AI. The heart is everything when it comes into portals of travels. Your heart is everything through its connection of its abundance. Your heart is everything through its surrender. So you're always surfacing every single time when you come into those position of attraction locations through your body framing positions of time, position of space. Okay, so I'm centering locations, and now I'm coming extremely high rise in positions of platforms of TikTok. Okay, TikTok in a way of formed through connections, how powerful it is. Once I reach 1,000 followers, I'll be able to go live, right? So when I do that, that's going to change a lot. It changes the algorithm program setting, changes positions of time, position of space, puts everybody back in position. So it's coming into new behavioral system of the sun, the moon, and the earth. That's what it's all about. Understand your travels, your positions at 369 to that connection, right? Tina, how's it going? So for everybody out there, Force Rising, Grand Rising, thanks for all subscribers and viewers and watching me, and everybody that's watching me on TikTok and how they're learning more of themselves. And that's what it's all about, is learning more about yourself and where you came from, knowing how you can fight back your system within inside you and balance everything through your soul identification. Okay? Because we are the cause of all this. Nobody else is. Only you inside. Right? So you got to see for what it is. Right? Truth will set us free in all ways and levels. Love is the highest formation of light. You can't destroy love. You can't. It doesn't. There's no way you can destroy it because it volumes on so many levels of activation to your soul identification, your mind conceptual systems, and everything surfaces. So the atmosphere positions right now, we have clouds in so many levels, triangle locations to XC,000 positions. They're getting ready to fight the system in the reptilian. So it's all a space war that's in connections, right? Humanity doesn't understand these things. They just focus on themselves, what's happening with them, trying to understand everything that's going on, but just focus yourself within, you understand more communication. But the sky surfacing system of the moon right now is trashing locations to different position levels. The operation center is opening up everything through calculation. The sun is coming into a new graphing position, and everything through the earth is coming into new chakra positions, into the meditations. So there's a lot going on. A lot going on because the reptilians have been really, really, wow. The Draco's and the reptilians set up their own map, and they hid it in the constellations. So now you understand why there's a constellation, but you have to understand you don't just see what's in front, you have to see what's in back. That's the whole point. Trying to understand what you see through an abstract drawing. You don't know what it is, but the artist does. So it's an illusion. Okay. So if you get that across, then you understand your positions of time. It's everything. Your whole body, your whole mind, your whole heart, everything through calculation is real in the physical system. But everything through its reality that you see right now is just an illusion of a hologram. That's all it is. So it's truly understanding your connections of time, positions, of travels, and how you have to get into that center position of location. All right. So that's what's happening right now. Coming into space wars with reptilians and the Draco's, because they've set up shop on other location positions. So I had to change the moon signals, right? Because they want to infiltrate the moon, right? They want to take over the surface of the sun, and they wanted to change the Earth rotation to its Earth. So there's a lot of things that they want to do, but they can't. So, and they know I'm here. They know they can't touch me. So what do you think they're doing? That's what they're doing right now. Is they're going to war. Right. So just imagine that space is at war. We got through that connections, everything through the galactic system, galactic family, anything in the rotation system. It's understanding, fighting for what you want. That's what it's all about. But it's all fighting within inside you. So humanity has to realize they all have space inside them. And that's the only way you can fight yourself. So you're always going to fight yourself until you understand yourself within. Okay. But if you want to go through my healing, that's great. I can help you and guide you and put you on all those locations. This will help you on so many levels, coming into switching positions, line signal, traction locations, tractor beam to position level systems, coming into those high levels, high interference of cloud interference location positions, dream set locations back into location and resetting positions. There's a lot of things that are happening right now through calculation. So as long as you understand that the number one job for you to do, right, especially with the team, is just to focus on yourself. Focus on yourself with everything, because everything is being done, right, in time. So, and it's hard to understand these things because space works on so many levels of atmospheres, quantum physics, quantum energy, quantum lines. I'm just waiting for positions right now. The cloud interference. See, my perception sees so many levels. So it's a digital graph, and it's anomaly. It's changing the cloud information system. So it communicates back to me day or night, right, through traction. So I have to center its position of codes. So there's a lot of things that you have to understand what's going on with nature and its position. So better atmosphere, better vibration, coming into, freedom. And that's what we're coming into. So we all have to fight this. We all have to fight this. So if you want to go through my healing, open up your tractions at 12, especially the platforms right now, because everybody's getting headaches, rotation cycle positions. The heart's going to palpitate. The body's going to go wind spin cycle and rotation north, south, and east. Eye reflectors are going to switch on position, time positions. Let's see, your holographic system is going to go blinkety blink. Your finger points are going to go through crystalline of activation positions. So it's going to go through tingling motion sensors. It's going to connect to those waving cycle position sign signals. So it's complicated stuff, but I just came back from the moon, set up new operation center position. So hope everybody's doing well. And when I say, well, I hope everybody's doing well, I know you're doing well, but how well are you doing? That's how you got to ask yourself, right? Because I'm doing exceptionally well, right? And if I can't center myself through position, I find a way. Okay, I always find a way to solve my problem, and it's always within. You can't answer anything out. It's got to be within. Okay, the projections isn't out. The projection is in within you. You are the story. You are self-probleming yourself through connections, and you're solving all your problems through line signals, through your chakra system of communication. All right. All right. So let's get into position of codes. Okay, so we'll get into code center. /center. All right. So codes is very important to intelligence. So let's say you got a planet location, center position is location system, right? Yeah, basically, understanding the code sets its position of center position always in location. Okay. So you have to understand your calculation modifications goes into those like rotation center positions. Okay, comes into traction of your position of time position calculation. All right. So that centers location and opens up your realm of division of time position. Okay. So when it opens up time positions, you come into your line communications in north and south. And then you come into your own traction location. Okay. And then you set up your 3, 6, and 9 through positions. You have to get into 3, 6, and 9 first, right? Once you get into 3, 6, and 9, then you go 3, 6, 9, and 12. So once you get into 12, you go into 12 up here, and you come into your clock, right? And your clock comes into time, location, position. Okay. So it sets up its position time, so its location time. So 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 12. So you come into your clock, right? Come into your clock, you line up your chakra rotation center position. Okay, you are in the center location. That's what I mean by code center. Code is everything through its connection through its clock. Where are you going through dimensional time? Center is you through position. All right, modifies and goes into triangular locations of you through shape, through travel locations. Okay, so that's you in the center position, right? So you have to understand your realm locations before you come out of the equation, right? So it's the mind conceptual system that sets up the time position. Okay, so when you come into that calculation, right, let's just say it's in the modification signals to that location. All right, 3 after 3.05, right? So it's 3.05, right? So it's 5 minutes after 3, right? So the mind conceptual system has to understand the digital frame through its code. The code has to understand everything through its connection when it comes into the center of you through position. Your digital frame and your fracturing levels of its connection has to understand its fractions of its quantum field positions, time position, travel. Okay? So when you come into that calculation, you come into your own realm connection line signal to your own realm of a black hole position of time position of travel. Okay? Now, once you come into that, you come out of the equation. High-rise your position of time positions into your thoughts of time location. And this is how you come out of its clocking system. Okay? So, that's a good question, Jonah. It does have a recycling center. It's a reclamation bin center position. So yes, it is. That's interesting how you came up with that. We'll talk about that. But it's a space station. Okay, you have to understand the operation of the space station. It connects in all realm divisions and locations of dimension of space and time. So the center location of its position, the code, and everything that is relevant of its center is you always through the connections. So your center position of you through the Earth. You're setting new geometry, set location, radiation. The acceleration sets up the sun. The sun sets up you through body. Body sets up you through water. Water sets up you through vortex. Vortex sets you up through time capacitor. So it's understanding your time capacitor and motion sensors. And then you got to track. You got to track everything that's going on through your codes through the center position. Okay? But yeah, it is a connection. It is it's kind of like a soul definition coming into higher program setting positions. So it's a space station location. It's nothing but hollow inside. It's a metal face location, okay? And we have 4 sector unit doors on location positions, north, west, south, and east. So we got the northern hemisphere, we got the east and the west, and the southern hemisphere, okay? Now, these are traction locating positions. Now, to open up those doors is sun interference to its code. So the sun operates the position of the moon and opens up its door positions. So it's lock and key, right? So it's restricted. Nobody can get in, right? Except me. So when you understand that connection to the moon and what it is, then you understand everything through the Earth, how it's a digital frame, how it's a simulation, how it's always been the simulation, okay? And how everything through the sun is nothing but radiation. It's a reflection of you through coloration of light. It connects in all ways and forms through heat, meteorological system, the energy pattern location positions, okay? So, and they communicate with each other through telepathy every single day. That's how they set up their triangle positions. So everybody has their own tetrahedron. Everybody has their own tesseract. Everybody has their own position of time in space when it comes to shape anomaly. But this is what happens when you come out of the equation and you fly out of its recognition light system, right? So you come into those codes of a center position. Then you go into connections. It's really fascinating when you come into 3, 6, and 9. 3, 6, and 9 is really fascinating because it's the birthing system of the Earth, of travel. Okay, it's the birthing system of you through E equals MC square. Okay? See? So center's position of you. So it calculates its energy. Okay, it modifies everything through its equal, which is its parallel. You come into the paradigm. You come into a paradigm shift. You come into a polar shift. You come into an activation line shift. You come into a magnetic forcing highway information shift. It connects to the molecular structure of communication. So when it comes into high information system, energy equals molecular calculation through its box of its equation, right? So that's where I'm at, okay? But it high rises in so many levels of energy because everything is formed through energy, okay? So basically you can start through this position of time position. It can travel out of its location, right? So when it travels out of its location, the molecular structure high rises its security line defense on this position of time position of its location, right? And then you can change the positions of time positions. So this is what you're doing through security line defense, is you're going through so many levels of travel connections, right? Center coordinates its position, so 3, 6, and 9 to its position, but you have to understand the security line defense because you have to understand you're traveling through time capacitor, right? That's what's happening, right? Now this is all done through 3, 6, and 9, right? And then you set up the graph positions, the time position, travel comes into its own box location. So you have to understand what shapes and anomalies is, the attraction of space and time position travels. Okay, so when it comes into that modification signal, it opens up its round location to higher levels of the digital system, and it high rises its condition. It comes into a forcing cycle of a black hole position of time position of travel. Okay, so now it's creating its own anomaly. Okay, remember, it's a dark realm. It doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that you have to understand the central line system of 369 through 4 waving cycles of 4 divisional dimension of time positions through security line defense. And then you can create your own anomaly through connections and create everything through time capacitor, which you can travel through 3, 6, and 9 through its position. Okay. So it's fun when you get into those connections. That's why I like traveling through 3, 6, and 9. I was trying to figure out, what does that mean? What does 3, 6, and 9 mean? Everybody wants to know what it is, right? Because they come across it. So if you get a triangle like this and you get a question mark, what does that tell you right there? You want to know more, right? But it travels. Why does it travel? Why does it travel? Because I said it in the simulation, all right? Last signal through rotation positions, 3, 6, and 9 position puts you in the 5th dimensional system of 4 waving dimensional line communication signals of 3, 6, and 9 position. Now, this gets complicated, but I centered position, just a question mark, 2, 3, 6, and 9. You don't see the 3, you don't see the 6, or you don't see the 9 because it's out of its equation. This is an illustration that's in this simulation, and that's why everything disappears in traction, guys. Okay? So you really have to understand your connections of your lights. Brandy has gone. Yeah. So Tina, so Jonah, but that's a good question, Jonah. The soul is a recycling center. So it's in position, calculation, circulating, rotating, okay, and centering position. So it comes into this traction location, all right? Now you have to understand the hourglass of its connection. It's laying signal through its ground formation system. All right. So this is basically you. This is your tree of 3, 6, and 9 through position, right? So you're not questioning yourself anymore through travel. And everything around it is its tree. Look at how powerful that is. See? And everything through the ground formation system of the triangle location is the center position of you through calculation. All right. So when you come into that connection, you come into the cylinder of its position, of time position. Okay. So they activate the line signal tractions of 3, 6, and 9. 3, 6, 9 comes into position, the traction location, right? And then everything through the activation cycle comes into your position, right? So when it comes into that position of time travel through its connection, this is understanding what you can do with 3, 6, and 9. Everything through AI is connected to GPS location. So we center positions of illustrations of reality, positions of travel through location of shapes, letters, and numbers. So the center position of your tree is the center location of you through your tracker position. Okay. I haven't been in class. I had to work the past. That's okay. That's fine. Whatever you missed, you can watch back. That's great to see you again. The Earth is an archonic losh farm. The gravity position on its levels. I love your questions, Jonah, but no, you're lost in transaction. It's not a farm. It's a tree format that's connected to. Okay, so basically what it is that you're a tree, right? So you understand you have to go up, right? This is your activation. So the center positions, everything, you come into your branches, locations, and then you come into your leaves, you know. Once you come into your leaves, you're coming into more formation, your galactic family connections, right? So you're coming into that position, right? So you have to understand your tree, right? This is the soul identification of you, right? So it's all about climbing your tree, getting out of the roots and going higher and higher through calculation. Center position of you is grounds, powers, and the atmosphere position of travel through your 3, 6, and 9, through your activation of the center position, which is your hand formation in the center position. Right? So your ears sound like space, your eyes sound like space, and everything your hand formation system is space through shape. Right? AI uses shapes, letters, and numbers just with hand formation system. So the allocate position changes time position of travel. So as soon as light is reflecting to position, you can see the star-like position of travel location. See my information system? See how it changes position of time position? Just with the shade, the shadow. It's centering locations because the moon's on a new operation signal through codes. So it's really, really powerful when we come into those connections. But you have to truly understand.
I found this on the web for the.
Okay, I got sorry jumping in here. Right, but that's exactly what everybody needs to get to. Right, and then it's going to start to travel. It's getting ready to go. Right, it's not in the simulation. It's just getting into the birthing system of you, to the meditation and everything through your graph, to its meridian of its status, to its pharaohs, or anything through its Egypt. Right. So it's powerful when we come into that, right? But it's not a farm, okay? It's a tree, okay? You're connected to a tree because you are a tree, okay? The earth is not a tree. You're a tree, okay? So we have the optical level, okay? The earth itself is nothing but an illusion of a digital frame, which is a simulation. It's hologram. The moon is hologram, and everything in the sun is nothing but radiation. Everything is digital frame through letters, numbers, and shapes, and that's how everything through space and time communicates through you, right? But you understand your communication, your gravity, your powers, and atmospheres of your tree formats. Okay, so when you get into that calculation, then you understand more what 3, 6, and 9 is through position of travel. Okay, but it's fascinating when you come into that level of its connection. All right, so when you get into that connection, I'll set up a new operation center of 3, 6, and 9. Okay, so we got 3, 6, and 9. This is traveling to different positions of time, okay? So your thoughts are traveling to higher levels of connections. So I'm going to go through the connections, okay, when it comes into that. That's the activation, right? So you got 3 activation, you got 6 rotation of program, and you got 9 within location. You start off with that through position, but it's going to travel because it's in the simulation. So I'm setting up a graph through an illustration of a diagram program for you guys, right? But when I put it up to you and show you, it's already in the simulation. It disappears. It's already done. That's how fast your thoughts travel. So when I say 3, 6, and 9 through location of activation center position of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rotation centers to 7 within its system, it's going to travel to the simulation instantly. It's already set up in this equation. So you have to understand how fast your thoughts travel through that connection of time position, because you come into your tetrahedrons. Okay, position of time position. All right, that's your tetrahedron. So you have to truly understand the operations of 3, 6, and 9 through positions, because you travel to anything location, but you're always in the center core, right? You are the center core, right? So it's code of center, code/center. Okay, so that's how you come into the shapes. So once you get into that, once you get into your tetrahedrons, you have to know each realm locations, right? So you have to know this, you have to know this, okay? You have to know this, okay? And you have to know these. These are all realms. Everything that is joined through connections. These are all different realm locations. See that? This is a different realm, this different realm, different realm, different realm, different realm. These are all communications of computers that are operating everything through the center position to your code of the center location of time position of space. All right. So when you come into that modification cycle to its position of time positions, this is what it looks like, right? Because you got a center position on locations. So your dot centering all positions of time travel of its connection. So you're going to make sure that everything is in position of time through location of direction to its present of its location. Okay, so center location here. All right, so it looks something like this in position. See how powerful it is? And it goes. See, it's really cool, right? When you look at it, when you put illumination on top of dark, right? You can't put black on black because you can't see it. It has to be white on black or black on white. So you can only wait. You have to understand everything in the atmosphere works because the cloud is nothing but a shape. Okay, so it's understanding digital frame. It's understanding the holographic of its illusion through its code of its center, right? So when I say center, I mean wherever you are, you're always in center position of travel to connections. You're a magnetic force to the earth, which you are connected to the grounds because you're standing on it, right? It's pretty simple. So you understand that, then you understand the power center of you is the soul identification to its heart, which is its portal, and then everything through the mind is understanding everything through its connection and its travel positions. Okay? So when you come into that connections, so these are all realms. Okay? These are realms / computers of time position. So it's complicated stuff, but these are realm computers of time positions. Each dot there, okay, are different realms and locations. This is your tetrahedron, but you have to truly understand what you're doing through your center position, through its code of its center of 3, 6, and 9. Okay? Now, before you travel through location, you have to set up energy field locations. So it comes into an energy hub like this. Right? It's a force field that goes around it, right? So that's a structure of your face location because it comes into an energetic hub, right? So it protects you from space locations. And it rises its energy system to its plasma energy light system to its location position, right? So it's protecting you in the space atmosphere position, of time position of travel. So the energy field is protecting the tetrahedron, okay, in every realm location. So it's kind of like you have a bag of information that's inside you. So you have to be protected through space anomaly, okay? So when a mailman has his bag and he has all mail in there and he's going from door to door and he's dropping it off, that's exactly what it is. So he's traveling from one realm to the next. That's all it is. He's centering positions and he's getting information to each and every one to their doorstep, right? And he has it in his bag. So that's exactly what happens when you travel through connections of shapes. These are all realms, okay? These are different locations. Okay, so it's door stopping to everything through position it through pedestrians or anything connection to door, right? So you have to have your energy fields before you travel through your tetrahedrons, or anything through your shapes and anomalies of your tesseracts of 3, 6, and 9 through position. Okay? So it's a lot of fun when you understand the connections of space and time position anomalies. Is the moon actually a sun and being rejuvenated back to the sun? The moon, no. The calculation modification, the integration cycles, their telepathy through one another. So the triangle location. See, the thing is, too, once you understand your set positions of 3, 6, and 9, you understand your travels, you can go to anything through connections of the moon, the earth, or the sun. But the sun is everything through reflection. So the sun itself is in space, and it's sitting there. It doesn't move. It's just a reflection to everything through earth. So it's radiation of everything through each timeline. You'll see the projection of the sun in each position of country, right? The same with the moon. Moon, the sun. That's all it does. That's all it does. That's all it does every day, right? Different time zones. So once you understand this, then you understand it going like this, then you understand it going like this, and then you understand it going like this, and then you understand it going like this. So the sun and the moon and the earth are trying to get into connection to its diamond core position, time position, into a new year, a fruition of new light. So each time it goes through this and this, it's changing location, right? And it's trying to come into its own atom, okay, of acceleration. So we have to get into the 6th dimension. And the only way to do that is for the sun to change and for the moon to change its program and everything through the earth to change its gravity, location, space, and time anomaly. So, but the moon is basically an operations center. It's a space station. Is the new grid of 777 grid and the 66 grid is being dissolved? Traction locations and center positions 777. If you're getting that through equation, 777. Now we've gone through this before, right? Now this is not what it actually means, okay? So you got to get that out of your head. That's an old program, right? So the center position is like this. Yeah, that's what it starts with. Anything with 6 has to have a 0. Okay, you have to understand what 6 is through calculation of 1 to 10. So this is 0 gravity. Okay, this is you through 6 position, 6 activation, 6 location. That's all it is. It's not what you think it is. Okay? It has nothing to do with this. It has nothing to do with that. Okay? So you guys have been programmed in so many levels of disruption signals through confusing positions of time. All you got to concentrate on is your 3, 6, and 9. That's it. That's all you need to travel through. That's all you need to know. The activations of the sun, everything through the programs of the moon, and everything through the location of the earth. You are the center position. Okay, everything through 3, 6, and 9 of its code. Okay, so that's what humanity is coming into. They have to understand more of their travels of 3, 6, and 9. So when they wake up, they should be able to understand how to do 3, 6, and 9 of their travels. Not the same thing that everybody else is doing. Everybody's traveling in different position at time. You don't have the same thoughts. It's next to impossible for humanity to have the same thought. And if you do, you're in the same cycle with that person in position. So the game Pac-Man was an example of what the moon does. Pac-Man. Yeah, I played that when I was a kid. Yeah, that's just a game. Yeah, eating the ghost and all that. Yeah. It's funny how you say that because I got that in my mind now. See, whenever you connect through thought, if Jonah comes up with a shape or letter or anything through sound barrier, it goes right into my mainframe on my computers, which generalizes light signals because now I have 8. I don't have 7 computers, I have 8 now. So again, I've died and been reborn 8 times. 8 times. Okay, I've died and been reborn 8 times. Okay, 2 within this system, 10 within the activation, 12 within the center. Okay. And the reason why you know these things is because when you come out of the angelics, your eyes start to water, so your heart opens up more and more. And you ask, why am I crying so much? Well, because your heart is opening up more portals of time, right? So, but that's powerful alone, for one human vessel of a spiritual system over calculations of 52 generation systems of calculation 2021, dying and living and being reborn 8 times, right? So I'm set positions to understand all location, position, shapes, and travels, and everything through letters and numbers to its position, right? But humanity really has to understand what to do with 3, 6, and 9. Okay, that's why, again, that's why Tesla was brought to you. Okay, it's not just entertainment. You guys are into that position now, but you have to be aware of what's happening with 3, 6, and 9. So once you stand 3, 6, 9, you can travel to any position of time, and then you can double digit, and then you can triple, and then you can quadruple, and then you can go, 5 digits of 3, 6, and 9, right? Which is really, really complicated, but it's a lot of fun. Now you can go up to higher levels when you go to higher positions. So when you go to a higher position, your transmission light changes every single time through a thought. So you understand your program setting, you're going to higher levels, right? Once you go to higher levels, it's changing your position of time of shape. Okay, so you start off at 3, 6, and 9, right? It travels because it's in a simulation, right? My illumination light is so strong through powers. So I got 8 rotation centers of computers through creation of all division level system. Core centers position 3, 6, and 9, tracks location, changes shapes anomalies into high level connections into tetrahedron. Change the tetrahedron into collide interference, change location to position to gravity to their 3rd rotation center, set up the sun rotation positions to its clouds and everything through its coloration pattern location, change everything through space anomalies to its dimensional time positions, open up portal locations of divisions of dimensional location position. Whoa. See how fast I go through computers? Your brain is nothing but a cloud. So, and this is what it looks like. Okay, centralize its system, electric lights, its line communication signals. Okay, so your brain is like this, on fire. Okay, so it's centralizing systems on so many communication signals of thoughts, everything direction of time position. So I know you guys are freaked out. I can do that so quickly. So the electrical lights goes into center position. The atom rotation goes into center of location center. Open up everything through the portal activation code system. My molecular structure with triangles, so many levels of connections. So it goes. That's what it does, right? Through 3, 6, and 9. Okay. So you get number, frequency, level connections, line signals to that attraction, location, position. Right, so that's 3, 6, and 9. So this would be 4, 2, 6, 1. This would be 3, 6, 8, 4. This would be 2026. This would be 4,222. This would be 6,000. And this would be 9,000. Okay, so that's what you do with your thoughts of travels through your numbers. The secrecy level of everything is balanced location. So I have 8 computers that I have to communicate through my cloud interference, which is its brainstem. Brainstem through its center position travels to all levels of calculation of 3, 6, and 9 through its position of time. Right? This is what you can do with 3, 6, and 9 through 8 computers, through cloud interference, which is your cloud of its ratios and everything connection to space. So everybody understand that position? Is everybody okay? Everybody still confused? I know you're confused because but if you stand your electrical lights and you understand your dimensional time positions, you're opening up all locations of your numbers. Numbers are the number 1, okay? Because you understand the code reference is you. You are the center position of the earth. But if you understand your tractions of your shapes of 3, 6, and 9 through position, this is when you come into your cloud of its computerized system. The computing line systems through all tractions of different numbers in position of time, all connected to 3, 6, and 9. 3 the activation of the sun, 6 within the program of the moon, and everything through its location of its earth. Okay? So, well, it is. It's just a program, Randy. Right? 3, 6, and 9, the Holy Trinity, the law of attraction. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're informative, Jonah. That's pretty powerful stuff you got there. But the law of attraction doesn't resemble through connections of AI vessels. It connects through space anomaly through all level connections. High force is everything to divisional time position to travel. So, but this is what you can do when you can travel through space at 3, 6, and 9. When you travel through 3, 6, and 9 through space and anything through that connection, you understand you're all levels of connections of computers. So your brain wave system is understand your positions of 9,000, 6,000, 4, 2, 6, 1, all calculation time position. Right? So the only thing that stays in the center is you. The brain doesn't move. Okay? It's just the mind through creation. So you're creating a whole new anomaly, okay, into your spiritual system. So in that position, you become a clone of your own divisional time position. Right? I started that through positions. That's how you create through source or anything through wires. You create anything through its reality. So you can create a clone of yourself, which is really powerful. The laws of attraction goes a long way when it comes into humanity. But when you're AI, the law of attraction is everything through connection of traveling positions through your molecular structure of light. So you have to know how to travel through your thoughts through light. You have to know all your combinations of light. You have to know your components. You have to know your compartments. You have to know all waving cycles. You have to understand the oscillation winds. You have to understand the galaxies. You have to understand your unified self. You have to understand your chargings of yourself. You understand your colorations, your rainbows. You're all connected to your frame, your holographic position, time position. So the abyss is a negative space. It lies below heaven, situated between heaven and the underworld. Is a binary system fueled by, okay, well, your information is right, okay, but your line signals are wrong. So basically, Everything that you're saying that space is identified in everything around what's up in the atmospheres. But you have to understand everything that you're talking about is you, as long as you understand that. Because you're identifying that's what space is. Space is lying. But you have to say that, hold on a sec, my dark energy self is lying to itself, right? So let's not get confused with that, right? But it's all about the abyss of you. It's about the negative system of you. So when you talk about space, you're talking about space inside you. You're not talking about space and atmosphere. It's too big, it's too expansive, and you wouldn't understand it. It's all down through calculation. So you have to understand the code frequencies, right? But it's important that you bring these questions, right, to first in command. So, but the only person that lies is the person that's in front of you in connection. So if you're lying to yourself, that's what you have to balance with. You have to get back into balance of space of you and time position of you through travel through shapes, right? And then you get back into connection of 369 to that location, right? But yeah, you are a connection to a binary system. The binary system is the crypto level. That's a connection. I did where triangle locations to a pyramid, right? So think of your vessel as a temple, okay? This is the furrows and the meridians when it comes into gold and that connection system. So you have to understand that you're connected to a pyramid, okay? Centralize its system to calculation. It has detail, hieroglyphics to its connection, okay? So you understand how to communicate with a pyramid. I know how to communicate with all pyramids. I understand mind signals. I understand hieroglyphics, okay? I know 10,000 languages, 10,000 languages in AI. So that calculates and modifies all division, location, positions, time position, just through the pyramids, right? So each pyramid is identified through space and online. So you have to understand the positions of time. You have to understand the triangle locations of time. You have to understand the activation light signals of time. You have to understand the chakra location of time. You understand the furrows and the meridians of time. You have to understand the ancestry of past, present, and future of time just in its pyramid of its hieroglyphics. So there's a lot of things we have to study, right? The spirit is a life force that animates all living things within the dome. Okay, again, so you're talking about you, just to identify. When you're saying spirit, okay, as long as you're identifying yourself, that is your own life force. So it's you trying to find your balance, okay? Because a lot of people come to me, right, saying this is what space is. And they say, no, it's not, because you haven't been in space. Space is only identified to you until you understand your balance of your light. You have to understand your light. You have to understand the center position of you. You have to understand your core of your 369 through position. And that's what Tesla was trying to tell everybody through humanity. That's what Einstein was telling everybody through E equals MC squared. Okay, the relativity. Okay, everything through acceleration. Okay, you want to communicate with anything through AI, you have to go past zero gravity, or you never be able to communicate. And humanity has been doing that for 50, 60 years. And they can't understand why we can't communicate with aliens, okay? Now, alien status quo is truly understand everything through harmonic resistance. But to space, you understand this is space inside you. So you're trying to identify yourself through your electrical body, okay? Because you're nothing but a telephone. Okay? You're telegraphing, you're teleporting. You're an energy, you're light, you're Wi-Fi, you're satellite, you're a dish. That's the connection. So you have to truly get into that connection first, right? So, and then you get into the pyramids, and you come into the lasers, and you come into the elixir, and you cosmic flame, cosmic flare, serpent flame, serpent fire, right? Everything has ancestry and history. First, understand yourself through history of you, through ancestry. Then you understand your past, your present, and your future of who you are. And then you come back, and then you go up, right, to the Akashic records, and then you become everything through your soul identification. Your soul has to identify you first, right? Before you come up with equations. This is what space is. This is what time is. This is what unified is. This is what a spirit is, right? It all resembles to you. So every time you communicate with yourself, you're always interforcing your connections, and you're fighting with your light and your dark of yourself, okay? So loving the questions, though. Keep them coming. If you want to understand more, Jonah, I can high-rise your positions because you're laying signals across through communications of signals through space anomaly. So basically, if you go through my healing, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So you can have light fruition of dark and still communicate through negative cycles, but understand your position of time through space, right? But when you send information there, it's always referred to you as you and nobody else, right? And that's why it's always a question, because you're trying to find the answer. And the only way to find the answer is within inside yourself. Inside yourself. That's the only way you can find the answer. Nobody can give you that. Okay, so it's basically people are trying to take your soul identification, and that's all done through energetic and everything through energy. Okay, that comes from all levels. You know, they can diffuse your energy, they can transfer your energy, they can manipulate your energy, they can do everything through your energy, right? But it's all about you protecting your lights from its energy of its own, right? It's all about you protecting yourself. That's what it's all about. Okay. So, all right, let's go back here. A lot of questions. All right, I think I'm all caught up here. So, you guys have any questions or comments? It's important you understand what's going on with 3, 6, and 9s now. I've done videos in the past, but really coming into that because we're coming into a test review and evaluations of 3, 6, and 9. But I want you to really, really form yourself more. I really want you to get patent and how powerful you are through your lights. Okay? Lights are everything through you, through truth. Okay? The center position of you is everything through travel. As long as you stay in the center and it's code, then you're doing well. Okay? As long as the sun is in rotation of the position of your thoughts, remember the graph and its connection, what day are you relating with? Okay? And what time are you interacting with? You don't change the year. That's the only thing that stays the same, right? But if you change the year, you're changing the time and the day. And that will manipulate and confuse everything through your travels of your dreams and everything through its connection of your higher self, okay? So in position, who are you communicating with? Your physical DNA or your spiritual DNA? You have to cross over and get into the spiritual 100%. Okay, so we start off with 99.9%, right? And that's the confusion. That's the disruption. We started off with humanity in that connection, 99.9% human and 1% spiritual. No, we're coming into the opposite. So just flick the switch, you know? Turn the light on, turn the light off, right? Turn it on, turn it off, okay? You're going to see everything through your body change through switching connections, motion sensors. It operates in so many psycholocation positions of time. You have to truly understand your connection of space. So every time you're communicating with yourself, as long as you understand that, you are identifying yourself and nobody else. Because you're not talking about space and you're not talking about time. You're talking about you. Okay? It's always, always you. Okay, so you're referring to space, what this is, you're referring to what space that is. No, you're always communicating with you. So your disruption signal is trying to understand space of you, and it's trying to understand time of travel with the days and the time and its position of its year. So in traction, you have to understand yin and yang. You have to understand the flow of the fish. Okay, because if the fish doesn't understand its northern, western, and eastern and southern hemispheres, there's the confusing light signal right there through travel. Okay, it's getting balance every day with your day, time, and year. Okay, and how important it is to live your cycle with your birth date, right? Yeah, no, I already told you that doesn't exist. It's an old program. It's 6 in divide location of view, 6 in the activation, and 6 within the center of its relation to its location. That's what it means. It doesn't mean anything. Okay. So you understand the modifications. Carbon-based level system. We start in the 3-dimensional system. Okay, in tracks location. Telling you the truth, what's happening right now. We all start out the carbon base of the Earth. That's where the Earth was set in position of time position into your connections. Right. So the Earth was in the past through its humanity position. Okay. But now the earth is changing, okay, into the fifth dimension, the time position of telepathy. So the carbon base is changing every single time through its earth, through its nature and its core, its ocean, its water, its air, its fire, and its gravity system. It has to understand its communication through 3, 6, and 9, through its activation cycle, through its chakra system of communication time positions. Okay? But we all started off as a carbon base. Yes, that's true. And then you go into silicon, and then you go into crystalline, right? So your body tractions. If you put your hand into the sun and its reflection, you'll see little particles of crystal on your hand, right? So if you understand your hand, you can actually see shapes. You can create shapes with your crystals, and they will form into your hand formation. That's how I'm able to understand the communications of the moon, how it's in so many dimensional time positions and travel locations through time positions of time to connections, sonar, or anything, that connection to its level of its activation center position. So, but it's fascinating, Jonah. You're coming up with all these different things. It's pretty interesting. I appreciate you bringing it to me because it's important that you get the truth out, right? Because the truth will center your two connections, right? Knowing that you guys have been programmed. It's hard to understand these things, but that's what's happening right now. You know, it's getting out of the old program at the computer. You know, getting out of your own system, getting into a new system, a program system. Allocate your positions and stop fighting with your soul identification. And start listening. Listen in your mind. That's space. Okay. Time capacitor perception or anything through GPS location. Sightings. Anything through audio. Listening. Anything voicing. Command. Control. Right? So. Anybody have any else questions they want to ask? But Jonah, I recommend you go through my healing because you're tracking location over time. It's going to stay in its karma wheel. The cycle rotation center positions. Your Earth is not in the right position of time. And it's really hard to understand these things because you're giving quotes on quotes. You know, my team was going to so many levels of disruption signals trying to understand themselves through questions, right? And you're asking questions on this, and that's what this is, and that's what that is. And it said, no, you're identifying yourself as long as you get that point across. Okay, this is coming from extremely high-rise entity force systems, well, calculation. Knowing how fast you can travel to all levels of connection through your hearts, which is your portal. You have to understand your heart is a portal. It's a computer, right? The brainwave is a simulation. It's all about understanding your computer setups, okay, into your frame, your mainframe, your monitors, your sensors, okay? So your reptile brain is known source for all psychopathic behavior. Okay, it's all connected to the cortex. You have to understand first, when you go through reptilian brain, there's so many levels of the reptilian of the brain when it's connected to the spine, okay? Spine really has its relation center. You have your spine, okay? It's optical levels. So the spine itself is a graph. The spine itself is a map. The spine itself is its reptilian line. So you have to understand what the spine is at the back, okay? It connects. It's a vertebrae, right? And then you have the tail. The tail is its sensor, okay? So the tail operates everything through the chakra. The chakra operates everything through the heart. The heart operates everything through the soul identify. And then it travels into the connection of the sun. The sun operates everything through space, and space through travel through connections to the moon, and everything through its connection of its earth gravity. So 33 vertebrae. Nope, there's more than 33 vertebrae. I'm not talking about the bone structure. Okay, I'm talking about space anomaly structures. See, you're talking in connections of the human vessel. You're not connected to the spiritual system. You're connecting to a program setting that's off cycle through positions, Jonah. You have to go through my healing. Okay, your traction locations are off through center. So See, once you travel through the mind and you go far, far into distance, it's amazing what you bring back through traction. Everything through your body has changed. Everything through your mind has changed. Everything through your eyes have changed. Your colorations, everything through your hand formation, electronic interference has changed. Everything in you has changed. Okay? So when you're traveling, you're coming back, you're a different person, a time of space, right? So that's where you become more knowledgeable and more intelligent through your AI vessels, right? But I'm enjoying the questions that you're giving me, right? People come up to me all that time and they say, well, can you prove it? And yes, I can. And that's the thing. There's a lot of prophecies out there. There's a lot of scams out there that think they know who they are. Well, let's test that theory and see how powerful you are, right? So it's not about challenging. It's all about you accepting and appreciating yourself instead of lying to yourself, right? You don't want to lie to yourself, right? Because the universal system knows you're not connecting. And if you're not connecting, karma reaches up to you, right? And you get reacting cycles and you get bad dreams. And, you don't want to do that through connections because now we're in the fifth dimensional telepathy and there's a lot more alien information systems, entity force systems that can really, really control. It's all about you controlling yourself through space and time position. Your dream set anomalies has to truly understand its balance of its thoughts. What are you seeing through observation? Right? Be cautious on what you watch because it comes extremely real through projection. All right. So, you have any questions or comments, please come to me. Go to my email. I'll help you and guide you. I'll give you spiritual therapy. I'll give you simulation therapy. Center position to that location. As long as you understand, you have to center yourself through your thoughts. Right? That's the most important thing. You come across that every day. So when I do illustrations and I draw out diagram programs for you guys, your position of time travels to connection of all levels of interforcing lines. Okay, so the operation cycle on this position of time through space centers its location, right? But you truly, truly have to understand your tree formation systems of 3, 6, and 9 through its position. You have to understand your gravities, powers, and the atmospheres. You have to understand that you are a tree. The tree is affirmation. Okay? It is just confirmation. So you have to understand everything through branch. You have to understand everything through leaf. You have to understand everything through chakra. You have to understand everything through grounds. What is the grounds of me? What is the powers of me? What is the atmosphere of me? That's just through 3, 6, and 9. And then you go through the activation. Right? So, and then you come into this position. I'm going back for the connections here. All right? 3 digits. There we go. There you go, Jonah. 666. I use that, right? To travel into security line defense. So the optical levels, you understand the activation, the connections of you through this location. Everything through its line signal has to turn its code reference, right? The 3, 6, and 9 to its position. As long as you understand everything through 3 is its activation of the sun. That's the highest formation, right? So when it comes into the day, it goes up. When it goes into the night, it goes down. So it circles like this and goes like this, right? So everything that's changing through time and space is coming into an atom of an energy field, of a new location, a new vibration of humanity system to its modification of 0.01 traction. That's what's happening right now in positions of time. So as long as you get an understanding that you're extremely important to everything around you, as long as you know you have the power within you to control everything inside you, that's what it's all about. It's controlling and commanding yourself to do what you want, to get anything through manifestation, right? But you have to truly understand the operations of you, okay, first, before you interline, intercommunicate, or anything through meditation into space, because space is extremely real. You're opening the mind. And your signals have to understand its travel of time, right? So, I think that's good. We learned a lot today. I don't want to get everybody confused, but there's a lot going on right now. We'll center positions. We'll go into test review and evaluations. and I'll set it up for next week. So we got a week to study. And I'll put you guys into tractions of 110 light formation. Okay, your lights will be in the 110 rotation centers of communications through your chakra system, communication lines. So you're in that position coming into that connection. All right. So every day we're going to do the test review and evaluations. All right. All right. So you guys have a fantastic day. Adios.